you guys are ready, get ready. Run share. Kids underwear. I will have you say I was invited out to margaritas, and I came back here, so you guys know I must love these lots. We should land on Ligorian, the entrepreneurship professor. Trying to convince me to skip out on you guys. No. I said we had serious business to do. I should have brought them back. They told me you guys would side with them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
All right, hi everybody. My name's Sam. My group will be talking about job posting. But first, I'll just kind of introduce everyone for you. So Olivia is going to be talking about job description and responsibilities. Maria is going to be talking about KSA. Anne's going to talk about organizational values and culture. Joe will be talking about social media, and Will be talking about variants of job postings on different medias. So what is a job analysis? It's the core elements of the job description. It's how we obtain the information, and it's how it's used within the organization. It's also detailed information about the jobs. It helps us understand the requirements of the jobs and the type of people that we'll be working with. It helps employers with staffing, hiring, recruiting, training, and performance appraisals. So how is job analysis used? We use it for job redesign, which I'll be talking a little bit more about later on. HR planning, selection, training, career planning, and job evaluation. So why do we use a job analysis? It helps to pair the responsibilities of a job down to the core functions necessary to successfully perform the job. It's useful for providing an overview of the fundamental requirements of any type of position that you would be applying for. This is important because prospective employees will be able to see exactly what they'll be getting when they're applying for a job. For example, if someone is reading a job description and they say, oh, I like this, they'll want to apply for it. Same goes to the opposite. If they see something they don't like, they won't apply for the job. And I just have like a quick little story. I have a friend to explain why this is important. I have a friend who is applying for jobs like most of us. She applied for some jobs, isn't really keen on detail, so didn't read the job analysis, got the interview, and then later learned that she, in the end, didn't actually want the job. So there's two specific parts for job analysis. The first one is job description. This is essentially a list of all the tasks, duties, and responsibilities that are in your particular job. Some key parts are the job title, the location, and some essential duties. So here we have an example of it. You see the job title at the top. There's the location of the job right under it. And then if you would click on location, it would tell you exactly the address of the place that you would be going to. The second part is the job specifications. This is a list of the knowledge, skills, abilities, and other type of stuff needed to perform the job, such as your experience, training, and qualifications for the job. And then I have another type of example to show you guys on job specifications. Here it shows you the qualifications and the skills of a job that's needed. And then under it, it shows you the required education. And then if you would have scrolled down a little bit more, it would show you the recommended experiences that the job would like you to have. So the job analysis will also help us to look at the workflow of an organization. We'll see the design, which is the process of analyzing for production of a product. We'll have the position, which is the set of job duties, and then the job itself, which is the set of related duties. We also have to see how the work fits within the context of the organization. It can be highly centralized, meaning authority trickles down from one person to another, meaning like manager, supervisor, stuff like that. Or it could be decentralized, meaning the authority stems from many different people in the organization. Essentially, the structure will bring people together who can efficiently collaborate to produce the desired outputs for the company. So some of the sources for job information are the incumbents, which are people who are currently in the job, the Dictionary of Occupational Titles, or the Occupational Information Network, which is online job resources such as Indeed, Glassdoor. So we also have job design, which is the process of defining how work will be performed and what tasks will be required in a given job, or redesign, which is a similar process that involves changing an existing design. So just a little story, like I said earlier, I'm applying for jobs like many of us out here, and I use websites like Indeed, Glassdoor, stuff like that, and I'm able to look at all the job analysis, the descriptions, the specifications, to see what type of job I want specifically. So in short, a job analysis is the process of analyzing specific details and responsibilities of a job. It provides information that will help employees determine who's most fit for their job opening. All right, so thank you guys for listening. Now I'll hand it over to Olivia.
So I will be talking about job description. So all right, we'll wait for that slide. But pretty much my name is Olivia. I'll pretty much be talking to you guys about job description, job responsibilities, and the importance of having that within your job posting. That way the candidate can have full knowledge of what they're applying for and what the job entails. So pretty much to begin, you just want to give a clear job title. You don't want to attract the wrong crowd of people. So for instance, you don't want the job title to start off help wanted, because then anybody could just apply. You want to specify like you're looking for a manager for a certain position. You're looking for an accountant. Also, you want to, before you even do your job description, you also want to look around and compare yours to other job descriptions. So for instance, you want to determine if the candidate is doing the same job as someone else. So is the candidate a supervisor? Is the candidate a manager? Who they're reporting to? You also want to specify exactly what you're looking for in the title. So like I said before, you're looking for a manager, you're looking for a supervisor, an accountant, an assistant, pretty much what position you're looking to fill. And then you want to describe the task that the candidate will be doing. So you always want to give within 3 to 7 tasks that they'll be doing. So for instance, you'll be filing paperwork, answering phone calls, responding to emails, things of that nature. And then pretty much you also want to describe a typical work week. So for instance, I work in the HR office now, and I work next to our payroll specialist, and every Tuesday, all she does is payroll. She does nothing else but payroll. So that's something you definitely want to specify within the job description. You also want to sell your company. So pretty much give the candidate a reason to want to apply to your company. Give them a reason why they should pick you over anyone else. So for instance, you can talk about the benefits of working for the company, PTO, vacation, all that. And then also pretty much give testimonials for, So pretty much you want to make your ad look pretty as well. So attract the right candidates for the position. Now you want to pretty much give testimonials. So another example would be way back when I was looking to apply for jobs when I was 16, Nike had a job posting and they pretty much specified like, oh, well, we do have competitions like games on the weekends against other Nike stores. So that was really attractive to me. And now I'm pretty much going to talk about what you don't want to do when posting a job description. So you don't want to discriminate. You don't want to specify that you're looking for a certain religion, a certain gender, anything of that nature, because that doesn't look good. Then you also don't want your job description to be too lengthy. And also as well, you don't want to ask for too much. So you don't want someone to have a PhD, have like 8 years of experience, because it's kind of hard to find, especially if you're looking for like an entry-level position such as like an HR assistant. And then also you want to refrain from any negative, pretty much any negativity within the job summary or job description. So you don't want to say you're not looking for someone who's going to call out of work, who won't be here, who won't give their all, because nobody's going to be attracted to a job like that. Something else you want to avoid is pretty much neglecting the proper structure of a job description. So you want to be both clear and precise. You don't want to be too vague and pretty much not explain thoroughly what you're looking for and what the job entails. And then again, you don't want the candidate to be left out of any information. So you want to be upfront about any non-negotiable aspects of the job that you pretty much don't want. So for my personal story, pretty much when I was 16 applying for jobs, I applied to Loft in the mall. Pretty much I killed the interview. We had a great conversation. We actually started to talk about things other than the interview. And she pretty much wanted to hire me, but they neglected to say in the job description that you had to be 18. So I didn't get the job. Now I'm going to be explaining to you how to write a proper job description. So pretty much the do's of how to do it. So the first one would be job title. So like I said, you pretty much want your job title to be specific for what you're looking for the position. And avoid internal lingo, such as instead of saying senior, you're saying you're looking for sixth, or you're looking for something that they're not going to understand. That won't get you many applicants, or you might attract the wrong crowd. Also, you want to open with a strong attention-grabbing summary, so something that's going to catch their attention and something that's going to make them read further and really apply. And then also a good thing to do is give the exact job location. It also helps to optimize your job posting results when you do post a job online. And then also you want to outline the core responsibilities of the position. So pretty much list what you need them to do, and then highlight their day-to-day activities so they know exactly what they're getting themselves into. And then also you want to include exactly what qualifications you're looking for. So you're looking for certain hard skills, soft skills, and you don't want to overbear them with the list. Keep the list short and precise, like I said earlier. And that's pretty much it. Now I'm going to hand it off to Maria to talk about KSA.
Hi guys, I'll be talking about the knowledge, skills, and abilities that you should include in a good job posting. I'll be referring to knowledge, skills, and abilities as KSA throughout this presentation. And I'll also be going over examples of a good KSA and my personal experience. So knowledge is the information applicants possess. So when you see this in a job posting, knowledge is what they should know before they get into a job. So it's going to be learned information. For example, a nurse should probably understand concepts of biology. Going into skills, their capabilities or proficiencies developed through experience. Now, this is generally hands-on experience, and I'm going to give examples of skills later on and go further into that. Ability, this is the one that generally gets most confused by people. It's observable behavior or an enduring talent, and I'm going to have some examples of ability down the line, but that is the last aspect of the KSA in a job description. Now, people often get knowledge, skills, and abilities a little confused, so I thought that this was a great representation to kind of show you guys the differences. So knowing how to bake a cake theory base, that's knowledge. Having baking or cooking experience, that's going to be your skill. And having natural abilities, something like attention to detail, will definitely be helpful in baking a cake. So now I'm going to go into some pros and some cons of putting knowledge, skills, and abilities into your job description, because in the field we're about to go into, we're probably going to be writing job descriptions, reading a bunch of them when we graduate, and there definitely is pros and cons. Pros to job descriptions are going to be something along the lines of the organized format of KSA. It should be in a good job description. People are going to try to match themselves to the position. So this will avoid you guys interviewing people that really don't fit your position. The cons are people get confused with the terms, and it also makes your job posting a little more lengthy, and people might not even read your job description if there's a lengthy KSA written. But definitely a pro that I wanted to mention is it goes beyond the job description. So knowledge is bodies of information applied to work performance. And I'm going to give you guys an example. Federal regulations, budget and accounting principles, compliance laws. These are all examples of knowledge in a KSA. Skills are technical or manual proficiencies that can be measured, like computer software proficiency, data entry, or even a skill such as learning a second language. As we all know, that is very popular in today's job market. Knowing a second language, you definitely want to put that in a skill. Abilities are personal or social attributes that are innate, and they are acquired through informal instruction. So an example of an ability would be mentoring others, problem-solving skills, working under pressure. These are all great examples of abilities in KSAs. Now, KSAs will be measured. They are weighted based on importance, kind of like this graph shows over here. You can also weight them by mandatory or desirable, so M or D, and a ideal job applicant for the job posting will fit all the mandatory KSAs. Now, hints for writing KSAs. They're pretty simple, but you want to keep your KSAs readable in plain language. You want to keep them organized, and you also want to keep them to the point. You don't want to be flying off the handle, writing random things in the KSAs that just don't make sense. So knowledge, skills, and abilities are important to HR because we, in our career, are going to be writing job postings, and we're also going to be interviewing people, and you really don't want to waste your time interviewing someone that just doesn't fit. So when people read the KSA, they'll see if they're fit or if they're not. A great example of a job posting that always uses the KSA is the government. Government jobs are ideal to most of us, so if you check them out online, every single government job posting has knowledge, skills, and abilities written right there. So I wanted to kind of go on Indeed and test this a little bit. So I pulled up HR Generalist on Indeed. Integrated Resources came up. It's a company out of Marlton. And the HR Generalist position came up, it had the KSAs listed in the formal order. Now, stepping away from an HR job, I looked up communications and special event coordinator. Camden County Animal Shelter came up. They had KSAs listed. Obviously, the KSAs for an HR generalist and an events coordinator are not the same, but it was kind of interesting to see the differences. But they were both kind of in the same format, and they were very thorough throughout the job posting. So I actually worked in high school at Target and some of college, and they let me come back and do their HR hiring event. So Target's corporate, their company kind of uses like the generic job posting for all their positions. So the knowledge, skills, and abilities were listed, and it was my job to kind of go through and see where people fit based on their knowledge, skills, and abilities and when we need to fill the positions. So this is kind of just wrapping up what we learned on KSAs, the knowledge, understanding the concepts, the skills that you need through hand-on experience, and the abilities. They're kind of talents that set you apart from the rest. And now I'll be passing it on to Anne, who's going to go over the cultural aspects.
Hi, my name is Ian, and I'll be talking about how organization culture is important to job posting and recruitment. So what is organization culture? Organization culture include organization expectation, experience, and as well as development like member behavior and expressing member self-imaging and working interaction with the outside world and future expectation. So culture is based on sharing attitude, belief, custom, and written and unwritten roles that have been developed over time and are considered valid. So a cultural effectiveness depends on an organization, business, market, strategy, and workforce. But we wouldn't want people who build cars to working the same way as people who produce TV programs. So company culture is key when it comes to hire and retain good employees. Simply put, people won't sign or stay if a company culture does not meet their need. Building a working relationship on trust is the best way to recruit good workers and keep the ones you have. Therefore, organization culture is a major determining factor in the success of an organization and considered by many as one of the most powerful effects on how an organization thinks and behaves. So cultural fit is extremely important when it comes to selecting the appropriate candidate. For the open positions such as posting job online, it is really important to mention your company, culture, and attitude. Cultural fit is the ability of an employee to comfortable work in an environment that is congruent with his own belief, value, and need. The challenge for employees is to identify and hire employees who fit their work culture. So user selection to highlight the company mission, vision, and value to help the candidate can get insight into what your company is all about and have a better understanding of your company. Make the right decision is important to candidate, also to the company too. Culture is as important as your business strategy because it either strengthens or undermines your objective positive culture. And it is important to attract talent job candidate involve your organization and climate. So for my personal story, last summer I was in Taiwan and I was seeking a work experience company in order to develop my future skill and knowledge in management role. And the manager over there wanted to know my current knowledge about organization behavior. So he asked me to give a presentation to demonstrate my skill and knowledge. And I will compare and contrast the different organization structure and culture of two different companies and analyze the relationship between organization structure and culture and the effect on business performance. He also asked me the culture of the company and want me to ask myself whether I can fit into this kind of fast tempo working environment or not. So through my personal story, we know how a company care about knowing all the organization culture well. So below is some example of different organization culture. So the first one would be MC Donut. MC Donut organization culture care about people are centricity, individual learning, organization learning, and diversity and inclusion. And the second one would be Google. So Google organization culture is more like openness and innovation, excellence that comes with smartness and hand-on approach. So the third one would be Apple. Apple organization culture type are more like a top-notch excellence and creativity, innovation, and secrecy, moderate compactness. And the last one will be Tesla. Tesla organization culture type would be like move fast and do the impossible, constantly innovate, reason from like a first principles, and think like owners. So through like example, we know that different organization has different culture. They need different type of employee. On the job posting, each company will mention their own type of culture, looking for someone who meet the requirement and look for the right candidate. So in the conclusion, organization define their culture. It can turn to identify what traits are most important for potential employee to process. Finding someone well suited for the organization culture is really important. Thank you.
So, like Sam said, I'm Joe Van Borstel. I'm discussing job posting as it relates to social media. All right, so everybody has some form of social media. So if you guys all have social media, you mind raising your hands real quick? Yeah, so just about everybody, which is exactly why companies need to be present on social media in today's job market. So before the internet, the main way for finding jobs was knowing someone or looking through the help wanted section of the local newspaper. This is pretty much the way of the past for the most part, although knowing someone is still a very prominent way of getting a job or getting an interview anyway. With the rise of the internet and social media shortly after, a much more efficient way to advertise jobs came up, and it gave the companies a wider audience to advertise to, so they could get the best candidate possible. One positive aspect of the internet blossoming is the ability to do research on the applicant before the interview even starts, to find out if they have any warning signs in the background, such as a criminal record or potentially negative pictures or posts that could be red flags. However, social media did not only bring good things to the recruiting process. As with all new things, it brought some negative things along with positives. So one of the negative things that the internet brought about is the ability of applicants to do their own research on the company. This could reveal some negative reviews or scandalous reports about the company, or something that was negative that has been taken care of but hasn't been totally wiped clean from the history. Another negative for employers but positive for employees is they can compare your company to other similar companies. salaries, benefits, different work environments, days off, etc. This could lead to less applicants and even current employees leaving if they decide to do their own research outside of work. However, this could be a positive for your company if you happen to be a leader in one or more of these areas. This could lead to a major influx of applicants, which gives the company a much larger pool to interview from and draw from, or give an opportunity to expand your company. The large number of applicants could lead to problems, however, as the interviewing committee and HR department may not be properly staffed to interview everyone. It also could be a problem for having so many qualified applicants to choose from that you can't, or you have problems eliminating applicants. So Facebook is one of the first companies that we think of when we think social media. It was one of the earliest platforms, aside from MySpace, but MySpace has kind of dropped off.
Right.
It is arguably the most successful. Making a company Facebook page and posting job opportunities there and promoting them is a good way to reach a large volume of applicants. However, it's now more the older age group that is on Facebook. Snapchat is another platform in social media platform. However, it's a little more difficult to post job postings there because most things go away after 24 hours and you only have little small 10-second windows. But it is also popular with the younger crowd, so you get more people that way. Another one is Twitter. It's a mix of Facebook and Snapchat in the sense that both young and older people use it. One positive of it is that job postings on this platform stay around, but they have to be shorter or contain a link to a separate website because of the small character count. Instagram is another platform mainly used by younger people. Job postings there are more permanent and can be accompanied with pictures, and they don't go away after 24 hours and don't have to be limited to 10 seconds. Some people even consider YouTube as a social media platform. I personally did not, but after doing some research for the presentation, I found a few websites did consider YouTube as YouTube as one. And the advantages of this is you can create a video of any length describing your company and include any number of employee reviews. So now we're into the more job-oriented social media websites, such as Indeed. This one is more of a search engine, but it has some social media aspects to it too. It's kind of like a job board like Monster.com, ZipRecruiter, and other websites like that. One of the big ones, which Sam mentioned before, is Glassdoor. It's probably arguably the most popular of the job-related social media places. I've actually used this multiple times before going to summer internships. It shows employee reviews, salaries, company reviews, and just you can compare it to other companies or certain companies, other ones with that. LinkedIn is probably the first platform you think of when you think of social media and job posting. It is it's the most predominant because it's the best at its job. It allows companies to create pages and look for potential candidates, as well as letting candidates create pages and upload resumes and apply to jobs. One I didn't know about was HireVue. Before researching this, I actually got an email from an internship I applied to saying that I had to use HireVue, where it's a totally automated interviewing process. You record videos based on the questions that they have and submit them, and you can redo them whenever and do it whenever. You don't have to go anywhere. ADP is another one, but it's more of an applicant tracking system. It'll help. It helps keep track of all the wide range of applicants and whatnot. So that's all I have to say, and I'm going to give it over to Will.
Hey everyone, I'm William. I'm going to be talking to you about my notes aren't updated on the slides. My page not on.
Pardon me?
My notes aren't updated on the slides. Is that all right if I leave them? We'll be talking about job posting platforms, different types of job mediums, job posting mediums, and what can help in creating successful job postings with those methods, as well as including what everyone else in my group had to say. This is a Help Wanted sign. It's one of the most iconic job posting mediums, and it's simple yet effective. All businesses post job advertisements at some point. There are many ways to do so. The job posting can be broad, or it can be very simplified and specific to a certain position, like new chefs. And that can be a way of funneling candidates into interviews where you know exactly what you want from them. Or you may see it as an open application to basically anybody who can apply over social media or another broad medium. These often give the company a huge amount of applicants, which they need to sift through for a while in order to choose the right one for that position. Oftentimes you'll see graphic designers team up with recruiters in order to create job postings that catch the eye of all applicants, so that says that creativity in job posting is important in order to stand out. Social media is also a great medium, as previously mentioned. Almost everybody is on social media, and a lot of people spend a lot of time looking on their phone or on their computer on social media, so there's a lot of opportunity for people to recognize what they need to see. This is the significance of social media and job posting. 94% of recruiters use or have used social media for recruiting. 49% of employers who use social media found improvement in candidate quality. And 70% of recruiters plan to increase their investment in social recruiting. A great way of getting new candidates is going to college campuses, because there is a huge job pool there. Students who are about to graduate are eager. Recruiters can go to job fairs and special events for the students to go to them in order to get into the workforce. Now, these are many popular hiring sites, and they are created to help find job postings all in one spot. These websites group together all the opportunities available for an individual and helps them stay organized. The significance of the job posting sites are that 60% of candidates listed career sites as a top channel for researching new job opportunities. I think this is mostly because it puts everything in one area for them to see, such as what other people say about the company, and it just helps them stay organized. The old newspaper classifieds are an older medium of job postings, but they're still very effective. Even though it is an older medium, it's important for independent contractors or short-term opportunities for people looking for quick work. This is kind of on a different note here, but there are applicant databases for recruiters, specifically in Hollywood and theater, that are looking for candidates to cast in roles, and that is a huge necessary use for them. Going off a different note, it's important to reach out to other professionals and potential candidates for an open job in your company. Oftentimes, someone you know or someone you work with knows somebody that would be a perfect fit for the job you're looking for. Because of already established networking, the people who are referred tend to take the shortest amount of time to actually become hired in the company over other people who saw the job over job boards or a career site. The standard anatomy of job advertising is quite boring. However, it's a basic model and it works most of the time. But in order for it to stand out, the recruiter might want to think outside the box and give it a little something unique to catch the eye of potential candidates. When hiring from the job postings, you have to remember to keep the same energy as when you were looking for candidates. It may help to keep in mind a hire based on attitude. If someone is qualified, they have a good attitude about the job, they should stand out. Then once the person is hired, you can train to develop the skills that they have. A person with a good attitude will have a better outlook on learning the job. As a personal story, over the summer I had a job where I had to train 2 people to do a job when I was leaving to go back to school. And the person who ended up doing better in the job had a much better attitude going into the job as the other person who was very quiet and not asking many questions. So yeah, it's great to think outside the box during the entire recruitment process of job posting and all of that. It's also very important to appeal to candidates as a place that feels warm and welcome. You'll stand out to all the candidates who applied if they think they will feel comfortable working with you, and that will reflect how they work with you on a daily basis. I want to thank you all for listening to the presentation. Just need to remember that proper recruitment leads to a happier environment, and all businesses can benefit from that. Thank you.
Thank you.